Hi, I'm Dinesh the Spicy Gourmet. Welcome back to this beautiful kitchen where I am the guest of my beautiful friends Carlton and Joellen Tropper. And indeed, this is their kitchen as I present to you a tandoori chicken preparation. Once again, I'd like to introduce you to this organic tandoori blend. It's an artisanal blend created in batches. So the ingredients are, we have yogurt, we have paprika, cayenne, some salt, garlic, ginger, chopped onions, and of course we have our tandoori blend. We also have some water because what we're going to do with this water is we're going to lighten the yogurt by whisking some of the water into the yogurt, which actually takes some of the tartness away and also adds a little sweetness at the same time. And finally, we have a little red food coloring, which is natural coloring. It's an optional ingredient, of course. If you're used to eating tandoori in Indian restaurants, you would have of course observed that it has a red tint to it, and that is simply because of food coloring and simply not because of the use of paprika or any other spice. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to whisk the yogurt and the water together, which reminds me I've forgotten my whisk. And my lovely assistant saved the day. So, put a little bit of water in there. Gonna whip it around like this. And you don't have to whip it all the way through because we're gonna do some more stirring and whipping as we add the additional ingredients. So everything goes in here because this is the marinade which we're going to coat the chicken with. Now that is another little story behind the particular type of chicken I'm using, but let's just do this first. Add all the ingredients. The cayenne, the paprika, and finally we're going to add the tandoori blend. So this is the organic tandoori blend. Some of that. And since hopefully some of you are watching are used to the tandoori that's prepared in Indian restaurants, I'm going to add a little food coloring. But most of the time when I prepare this at home, I just completely skip this particular ingredient. So as you can see it's taking on that red color. Whisk that about a few seconds. Now, as I mentioned, I wanted to speak about this chicken. Traditionally in Indian restaurants, once again, they use chicken breasts, which are basically cut into 1.5 to 2 inch cubes. I prefer to use thigh meat, and normally I use thigh meat with the bone in, because actually that provides a lot more flavor. What I've done is I've compromised. I've taken the bone out, but yet I'm using thigh meat. Okay, so this is ready to be marinated. So I'm going to pour this marinade over the top here. Now, one thing I neglected to tell you, and I will actually take this opportunity to show you, with any of the meat you're using, it's advisable that you actually make some small slits in the meat, which allows the marinade to penetrate the meat. Okay, now I wash my hands thoroughly, so I do like to use bare hands as opposed to using gloves, because it allows me to actually get the marinade to go into those slits. So I'm going to turn these around in the marinade, flip them over, and really coat these pieces. And once this is done, I'm going to refrigerate it for at least 24 hours. Actually overnight they say, but I like to keep it as long as possible because believe me, it really does make a difference to the eventual outcome. Because when you actually marinate, it's a process that takes time. You can't really rush the process. There we are. I believe that is well coated, and ready to be covered with some saran wrap and refrigerated overnight. And then we'll continue with the grilling process, and hopefully you'll enjoy this tandoori chicken. Okay, so we have placed the marinated chicken on the grill, and in this instance we're using a gas grill. My preferred mode of doing this is of course over charcoal or wood-fired grill, but you may use whatever you wish, whatever is convenient for you, whether it be a broiler or even roast the chicken in the oven. Okay, so here we have the tandoori chicken. As I mentioned earlier, I used chicken thighs without the bone-in, just so I would be compromising with those who want to use, or rather wish to use, chicken breast. But as you can see, it's come out fabulously. Now normally when I do this, I use a charcoal grill. In this instance, my good friend Carlton used his gas grill, and I of course left it up to him to cook this chicken on that grill. And he tells me a couple of techniques: get the grill nice and hot and allow the chicken to actually lift off. You do spray it with some type of oil just so the chicken doesn't stick, but that's what you would normally do. And of course you can also grill or actually bake it in the oven. That'll be all part of the recipe, all the recipe options and techniques. So I prepared this beautiful tandoori dish with the organic tandoori masala. It's an artisanal blend prepared in small batches, and it turned out just beautifully on the gas grill. My name is Dinesh. Until the next time, cheers.